Now we'll go into the standing roll. And the definition that I have for a standing roll versus a small forward roll is, in a standing roll, your knee does not touch the mat. And you are in compliance with that definition even if your knee is this far off the mat. And as a safety feature, you should always try to lower your knee as much as possible. Which means as much as Naga's technique allows you to do that. Your better Nagas aren't going to allow you to do it at all. But you will never, through your own agency, post your leg like a Federite Uke does and make a pole vault out of it. You don't want to do that. So if Naga is missing the X pattern, for example, if they're missing the projection vector through your center, you will always be able to lower your knee to within an inch of the mat. Okay? At no point do you ever have to do a front break fall as Uke. So if you end up having to do a break fall, it's because Naga captured your arm and isn't letting you touch the mat on the negative side of the circle. Meaning they were never going to let you touch it on the positive side of the circle, and in some way they are keeping it from you touching the negative side of the circle on the mat. So you don't have to learn front break falls. You get thrown in front break falls. There's nothing to learn there. Okay? But when your arm is not captured, and whenever the projection vector through the center is absent, you are able to lower your knee, and you should lower it as much as possible. This reduces the chances of injury, allows you to train more often per week, allows you to train longer into age, because the higher you are off the mat, the more risk of injury there is. Okay? All right, so in drill 6, the beginning of adopting the standing roll, we're going to work from what we call bear pose. And we're going to emphasize that we are going to put our shoulder head area in an entirely different plane than our hips. We don't want them going in the same plane, in the same direction, okay? And Naga is not going to let you do that. So we start out with this kind of posture here. Move on camera where you need to so you can see it. And all you're going to do is learn to lift one leg and the cross-lateral arm, and you'll roll at an angle. You will not roll straight this way, okay? And again, you can get as low as you want with your knee and you will have accomplished the drill. Does not matter. So we use this to let people get comfortable without putting that knee on the mat. So as soon as I pick up my leg, the cross-lateral arm will reach over, and I roll with that straight back. And if I roll at that angle, my hips and shoulders are never on the same vertical plane. All right, let's try it. So at this point, you'll have people that still want to touch the circle on the mat on the positive side of the circle. And I just filmed some clips showing you different degrees of that. So you can do this drill, we'll call it 6.1, where you're gonna hit the mat on the negative side of the circle, okay? Slapping the mat in this fashion makes it impossible to slide it forward and touch the mat on the positive side of the circle. So slapping the mat palm down is closer to what we're going to end up with, and you make people do it this way in this drill 6.1. Go for it. All right, let's try it. Alright, the next drill we'll do from Kamae, which again, because you're going to go on one leg, it doesn't really matter how you start. You could start here and step out. You could just pick your leg up. It does not matter how you start. But what I have found is that most beginners are nervous about falling from what they perceived up higher. And so just by putting this leg in the back, and I'm going to allow them to crawl out into that last stance, okay? It's basically the last stance. It's just already started because the other leg is not on the mat. And they can get as low as they want, as long as the knee is not touching the mat. Same thing. Let's try. Okay, this is drill 7.1, and you can do the same thing where you make them hit the mat, because it's impossible to hit the mat and be on the positive side of the circle. And we don't want that. Okay, so it'll look something like this. All right, let's try it. All right, so drill 7 is let people hang out there as long as they needed to be comfortable. That's where a lot of the fear of heights starts to come in, the fear of falling, and they will not do this body posture, okay? So you let them hang out there. There's a downside though to drill 6 and 7, and we had the same downside in the small forward roll, and that is that to touch the mat, to have the security of touching the mat, you have to close off the chest. And it's this shoulder coming towards the mat is fighting what's happening to your body, okay? So if we look at what happens to the body naturally, if he goes into this warrior pose here and he just hangs out, eventually his leg will swing out to the outside. Everyone can do this experiment on their own. Go ahead, just hang on. I'm gonna let go of using for balance in the meantime, okay? And you'll see that the legs will want to swing out eventually all on its own. Don't touch the mat, okay? It wants to swing out. And that's what we actually using, because as that leg swings out, his ability to keep his head up is reduced on anyone, okay? And this is that effect that I posted on one of the videos, right? That the posture of this right angle, this three-legged right angle, destabilizes so much and the thing flips topsy-turvy and inside out, okay? And that's what we use in our throwing geometry. But as we watch him do that, and you now look at his chest, the shoulder is up. The shoulder is not down. The shoulder's not down. Okay, the shoulder is going to be up, and this leg's going to go that way. And that's the role he has to find. So what we're going to do now in drill 8 is no more handrail. Take that hand out of it. Okay. You can do it from as low as you want. It doesn't matter. You can do it down here. Just let him do it where it's comfortable. But you still have to touch the mat on the negative side of the circle. So I'm coming out. All right, let's try it. Okay, a detail on drill 8 is because of the fear factor, you're going to see people breaking the relationship between the head and the foot. And they're down here like this. Even in the last drill, as I went out, I came out, my foot has to come up. That is part of this drill, so I'm not going to be here and then roll. As my head goes down, my foot comes up. My foot lifting lowers my head. This knee can continue to bend. Okay, if you don't want to roll from up here, but you can't break and lower like that. So I'm up here. Up. 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 Okay, make sure that foot is not staying on the ground. Try it. All right, here I can show you how we get up. It follows the rule of don't give your back to the noggin, to your opponent. So, hence we don't do the Donovan Waite front break fall where he gives his back. This is very incorrect. So, you're going to do your forward roll. You'll hit this spot. You're going to put your hands on the mat. Turn, you're looking the other way. Let all inertia out. And then press up and draw back into Hanmi. From standing, hands on the mat, open the knee, all inertia gone, like a back squat up, draw into Hanmi. Okay, let's try. We'll have you go from that side. he's gonna represent like assaultive energy, linear force, okay? You're not just getting up any old way. One of the things I said is that you're doing the back squat, okay? And there's no more inertia going that way, so hold on. We don't use the inertia to get myself up. This is incorrect. If he had thrown me, you can push me, and I use that inertia, he keeps that assault going, don't get kicked over. Coming in, he can push me over more. This is not good mindset. So, as he had thrown me eastward, whatever, he's coming in, he's gonna run into what in essence is your sumo stance. So he's pushing, and we're not going anywhere. If he tries to go over it, you can lift him up. When you're in on me, he can't push you over. Okay? So that's what you're seeing. You don't have to do it. But when here. This is incorrect. Incorrect. Okay? Try it. All right, drill 9. This is the last drill. And this is how I try to ask everyone when we say ukemi at the beginning of class to warm up. This is what I would like to see them do. To me, this is the end limit of you working with your own self-generated forces. After this, there's a huge gap in making the jump from here to where Naga is actually taking you apart, head, feet, and center in 3 different directions, okay? But this simulates it as far as the mind is concerned, okay? And that's where all correct form starts. So what I'm gonna do here is go up into that 90-degree stance that I had Ronin in. My leg will naturally swing outward, and I will let myself go off balance. I don't have to make myself go off balance. I don't have the agency of the leaning and the lowering. I don't have any of that. I just seek that warrior pose. My leg will swing out. I lose balance. I refine my organization, starting with the negative side of the circle. So I kind of am here. This leg swings out. I find what I'm doing. Let it swing out. You're gonna have to stop. Let it swing, be off balance. Get up the same way. Okay, try it. Okay, a detail on this one is you're going to see your scaredy cat ukes want control of this. And this is where I didn't take myself off balance. I took myself to here and that leg will spin out. I didn't make the leg spin out. Is you're going to see them do one motion. So as they're moving forward, it'll be taken right into the roll. And this means they never let themselves go off balance. So to do this drill correctly, there's a momentary pause here. Because you can get there, but as you try to stay there, it'll swing your leg around. So there's a pause there. It does not look like this. That was me controlling it, not letting me go off balance. On this one, there's a hanging out. Then you let it go. Then you find it. So there's a pause in that warrior pose. Try it again.